New York, New Jersey area. And I felt like it was spring today, so I started with the pink. Hi, everyone on YouTube and on Facebook. This is Marina Shepelsky coming to you from the New York, New Jersey area live. If you're just joining me, hello to you. I'm an immigration lawyer for over 20 years in the United States. We do court work, we do asylum work, we file for people who have no green card, to get a green card, to get US citizenship. We overcome denials from USCIS. And this is my weekly news show where I talk about things that have to do with US immigration, of course, because I'm an immigration lawyer and that's what I really care about most, US immigration. And usually, whoever is watching me also cares about those things. So we have people following from different countries. Please drop in the comments where you're watching me from, where are you following me from, where are you right now, the town, the city, and the country, because I'm really interested and I love to give shout outs to my friends in different places of the world. I also started this new tradition where people are really worried about getting their advance parole, like our client, and they write to me and they call me over and over again. And when I finally convince them that it is safe to travel with their advance parole, I ask them to bring me back a little souvenir, like under $10, obviously, a magnet or a little plate or like a little, figurine that represents the country they're visiting. I'm interested in knowing where they're from and what it is they did. But of course, I also want to get a little souvenir. So I've been getting a lot of stuff. Like I got a little plate from Paris. My client from another country actually went to visit France. He brought me a little plate that with the Eiffel Tower. I got stuff from Colombia, Nigeria, Uzbekistan, Bangladesh. And Maria here is watching us from New Jersey, as am I, Maria. I'm also in New Jersey, my favorite state. And Cecile is also from New Jersey. I'm also from New Jersey. I'm in New Jersey right now. I'm in Old Bridge, which is the central part of New Jersey. So hello to you, Joseph, my friend here, says good morning, my lovely lawyer from Maryland. Hi to Maryland. Drop where you're watching me from in your comments, and I'm about to also log into my Instagram comments now that everybody's starting to join. My Instagram comments, I'm going to turn off the sound so it doesn't make a crazy sound of myself. All right, so write to me your city and state where you're watching me from. And also, of course, write your question in the comment. I know you have questions. This is not meant to give anybody legal advice, obviously, because your personal situation deserves a consultation. But I want to address your question for everyone to see the kind of processing we're looking at, what strategically is a good plan. Of course, if it's something that's really sensitive, I'm not going to talk about it. I will ask you to do a consultation. But please drop where you're watching me from in the comments and your question. I have somebody asking me, Chev, if I'm live on TikTok. Not today. I don't have enough phones. I should probably buy another phone just for this and go live on TikTok too. But it seems like too much work. And Chev is watching me from Arizona. Hello, Arizona. I'm not doing the TikTok right now, but I am on TikTok. You can watch my videos where every day I upload a couple of videos. I have a couple of accounts with information about immigration law. Let's talk about the news, right? I feel like we're 4 minutes into the show. Let's talk about US immigration news. The big news is that the Biden and Harris team, President Biden, won the primary for Nevada. They're going to be running from Nevada. Um, and of course, Trump has already taken over a couple of states too. So the election, of course, is the right now having to do with immigration, because we know, depending on who the next president is, that will affect the policies, the decisions that U.S. immigration does. What do you guys think of my pink sweater? I wore my like spring sweater today because it's nice and sunny here in New Jersey, and I feel like spring, it cheers me up. Anyway, enough about myself. Also, the biggest news, of course, if you didn't hear, USCIS has confirmed, as I predicted, when if you guys watch my videos on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram about my predictions for this year, I said the first thing I said was they're going to raise all the fees this year, and they said they will go up. The new fees are between 15 to 20% higher for all the family cases, stuff like that. The government fees for work visas and work green card petitions are way up, more than like 100% increase. Also, there's going to be a new fee, and the new fee will be again for employment visas and employment green cards for improving the asylum system of the United States. They're calling it the asylum program fee. Everything goes in effect April 1. So if you want to file something, now is the time. You have enough time before April 1 to file your case. And I see Miriam is watching me from Florida. Hello, Florida. My second favorite place is Florida because I have a place there and I go there all the time. To Florida. California for Vidya Moon. Hello, hello to California. You know what? I have not been to California yet. Well, I've been to San Diego, but I want to go to like San Francisco, Napa Valley, LA, Sacramento. I haven't been to those places in person yet. I would love to go. Maria says she likes my pink. Thank you. And it's the hot pink of Barbie and Legally Blonde. Thank you very much. Let's see. Kentucky. Paco Nana is watching me from Kentucky and says good morning. Hello. Omar is watching from Tennessee. Hello from Tennessee. Texas for an account called Happy Life. Hello, Texas. Also haven't been to Texas yet. That's really bad that I live in the United States for almost, well, 35 years, almost 35 years. And I have not been to Texas yet. So I need to go. Like our dream, my husband and my kids and I, is to get to rent an RV and go for like a 3 or 4 week trip driving across the United States to see all these wonderful states like New Mexico, Texas, Nevada. I haven't been to so many like those big Yellowstone Park, all those really great places. I haven't really been yet. I've been working and just working all the time, just nonstop working. And when I go on vacation, I usually take my kids to like a beach place so we can relax because I'm so tired. I don't have the energy, but I have to make an effort to see America. America is really huge and really beautiful country, and the people here are amazing, especially when you leave New York. But even New York people are nice. But when you leave New York, people are super nice. What else? So we talked about the election. We talked about the hike in all the government fees. How about the Republicans in politics? The Senate and Congress. They're trying to impeach Alexander Mayorkas, the current Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, because of the border situation. They're blaming him for the border situation, and they tried to impeach him. I don't think they're going to get very far with that, but they did try. Let's see what's going on this morning with that. Because what happens is the president appoints these positions like the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security. That's a position appointed directly by the Biden administration. And so the House tried to impeach him. And good news for Mayorkas, the House vote to impeach Homeland Security Secretary Alexander Mayorkas fails, thwarted by some Republicans who originally said they will support it, but they didn't. So they could not impeach him. Okay, they tried, but they could not impeach him. So he's staying on. Some people are blaming him for what's going on with the open borders. They're saying, look, they created this open border situation, allowing so many millions of illegal, that's what they're saying. They're saying illegal immigrants to enter. Our cities are suffering. U.S. citizens and green card holders are suffering from all these border issues. All these people are living homeless now in the big cities. New York City is actually about to hand out bank cards to these migrants, $1,000 each. And, it's a lot of pressure on the resources that are already tight, blaming him. But I personally don't think it's all his fault. But it's a problem, and I know we're gonna have to deal with it. All right. Those are really the biggest news I think this morning. Let me see if anything else is happening. Biden blamed Trump for the death of the immigration bill, saying that uh, let's see. Basically, the Biden administration is blaming Trump for not doing an immigration amnesty. Um, all right. So I think that's it as far as news goes. Senators, okay, one more thing. Senators released the border Ukraine deal that would allow the president to pause the asylum law to deport migrants. So they reached some kind of a deal to begin discussing a real law, and they released on Sunday, which was only 3 days ago, a plan for a law that gives aid to Ukraine, but in exchange, Republicans were able to get the White House to agree to shut down the borders and start deporting more people and so on. We'll see how that law progresses through the House and then go to Senate. We'll see what happens. All right. So they are trying to shut down the borders, but it hasn't happened yet, and they still have to agree on it because we have a democracy. We need a majority to agree, and we'll see. So that's the news, and let's get to your questions. I see already a lot of questions. The first is from my friend from where is she from? Arizona. Chev, how long does it take to get a decision after I-360 was expedited? Hopefully, about 30 days, about a month to get a decision. Uh, Tercia Van Zyl says, "Morning, ma'am. Do they compare your info from your asylum to your visa application?" Absolutely. Absolutely. When they look at your application for asylum, later when you apply for a green card, later after that when you apply for US citizenship, they always review all of the information you provided for asylum, for visa. They compare everything and see if there's any conflicts of information. Um, okay, another question from Fiona. Can a person who's been in the US for over 20 years get a green card based on pardon or gratuity? Yes, you can do cancellation or removal. There's VAWA, there's other things. Give us a quote to set up a consultation. It's paid. We don't work for free. And we can talk about what we can do for you. Thank you. Maria says, I have a question about the Child Status Protection Act. Does it apply to children who are doing consular processing? Absolutely. So let me give you an example. I spoke to a lady. She is married. She lives in Moldova, and her mother filed for her in 2014. The lady I'm talking to has children. So mom is a grandma. Grandma filed for mother, and she has children. I explained to her that the time it took for the USCIS agency to approve the I-130 petition under the CSPA, the Child Status Protection Act, is subtracted from the kid's age. So right now, the kids are 21 and 20. I said, the consular processing at the consul will subtract from 21 and 20 the 10 years it took to get this petition approved. And whatever age that gives them, that's kind of the age they will treat the kids at. In other words, the kids can come with you, okay, as your children, even though they factually in life, really, in real life, aged out. This law, the Child Status Protection Act, subtracts from their age and gives them enough time to still be considered children under immigration law and come. The only thing that would get in the way of that is if these kids get married. If they get married, even if they're younger than 21, they're no longer defined as children under the Child Status Protection Act for most things. But it's funny, we recently had an asylum case in court, and the judge agreed with us that there was one situation where during the 8 years these people were waiting for their court date for asylum, their older son got married and divorced, and the judge still considered him a child for asylum as part of the family. Apparently, there's like some places where you're still considered a child. For family petitions, though, if your kid gets married, you're no longer considered. Okay. Now, Omar says, hello, I filed my VAWA case and received the prima facie approval. My attorney made a mistake where he put me as still married in the I-35, but I'm actually divorced, and I was divorced when we filed. What do I do? Your lawyer, and Omar is watching me from Tennessee. Omar, your lawyer should take your divorce, write them a letter explaining this was a mistake. You're allowed to correct mistakes when you file forms. We do this once in a while. It happens during 20 years of practice. We are human and we've made mistakes on people's forms. If we catch it, we say, okay, we need to correct this. We write a letter explaining what has to be corrected. I usually print the form out. I cross out the incorrect information on the page. I write out the right information and I say, please correct this. This was due to clerical error. It's not client's fault. It's the lawyer's fault. It happens. We made a mistake. Here is the divorce. He's actually divorced. Please change the form, and it should be fine. And if you don't like get that through now, you also, if there is an interview, you can bring this to the interview and ask to correct it at the interview right away. So you don't wait for them to make a decision on the form with a mistake on it. You take the initiative. You proactively write to USCIS, ask them to fix the form, attach whatever paperwork proves your correct information, and they will fix it. Oceanic Sprint says, hello, madam. I'm originally from India, but I had filed my asylum and got no good response. I want to do voluntary departure or voluntary exit, but don't know how to proceed. I'm in Missouri, but filed asylum from New York. Oceanic Sprint, we can help you if you really want to leave. You call us, we'll make a consultation and decide how to proceed. If you are still with the asylum office, you haven't gotten to court yet, you basically write a letter to withdraw your asylum application. And it should be a notarized letter and say, I want to close my case. I want to withdraw my asylum application. And then you just leave. If you are in court, you do the same thing. You ask the judge to schedule a hearing for you for the purposes of taking voluntary departure. All right, let's see Instagram. My Instagram friends, I don't want to leave you ignored here. All right, so D Joyoti 9007 says, ma'am, can an Indian start a startup on an H-1B visa? If you have an H-1B visa, you can start a startup, but don't stop working for your primary employer. Vidya Moon on Instagram says, is it okay if U.S. prima facie extension is issued? It's been 30 months so far. So VAWA takes about 3 years, okay? So it could take 36 months or even a little more for your VAWA. The prima facie extension just meant that, like, on the surface, without really reviewing your case too closely, it appeared like it was good and approvable. That letter, people use it to get like food stamps benefits, It's really not meant to be a real approval for immigration case. And Vidya Moon says he's in San Francisco. It's beautiful. Check it out. I definitely want to go to San Francisco. If you're just joining us, drop in the comments where you are, and I'm going to give you a shout out. because I love people from all over the world watching. Maria Morgalich says, waiting for asylum interview, and if I marry the guy who's also waiting for his asylum interview, one gets denied, will the other person get denied too? No, we often file separately for spouses with like a little bit different stories when they both ask for asylum. So if one gets denied, the other one can still get approved, and the person denied will go through as the derivative of the person. When you get married, both of you should ask USCIS to amend your application, send your marriage license to them with your case number and everything so they know who you are and what's the case number. And each of you should write a letter to your separate cases saying, I'm married, here's my spouse's information, marriage license, passport, visa information for the spouse. I want my spouse to be included in my case. You have to spell that out. Nvidia Moon is in the Bay Area. Hello, hello, Bay Area. Hello from William Garrett. Manchester 359 says, how I re-enter with work permit only after I overturn, please. I have no idea what that means. Habibur says, hello, how are you? Oh, so Manchester says, if I overstayed, can I get a work permit after that? It depends what kind of case you file after you overstay your visa. Vidya Moon says, what can I do if I keep receiving the prima facie extensions? It's been 30 months. They sent me a new one. Is it okay? Yes, it's okay because VAWA is taking 36 months. Bolivar wants to know if he can text me personally. I don't have a personal number here. This is work and my social media. I have assistants helping me with that. This is obviously me doing this live. But if you're going to talk to me, you want to write to me, we have a whole team that makes sure everybody gets an answer and nobody is ignored. Bolivar wants to know if I'm in New York City. Yes, our office is in New York City, in Brooklyn, though. How much do we charge for asylum? It depends. It depends. It's not like a fixed fee. We're not Best Buy. Thank you for giving me the answer, says G. Borjoy Yoti. Okay, more questions on YouTube. Jusaf Charalia says, what to make sure if transfer asylum case to a different state, like GL, cell phone? No, I don't know what that means. Oh, like driver's license. Okay, how to transfer? Okay, the question is, how do I prove that my asylum case should be transferred? What kind of proof should I collect to make sure that my asylum case is transferred to another state? Guys, I just saw a spider here. Oh my God, I'm so afraid of bugs, and this is crazy. I hope I don't freak out here. I'm gonna try to keep it together. There's a little spider, and it's like a really quick one. Oh my God. Um, okay, yes. So you need to change your driver's license information to the new state. Bills, like utility bills, cell phone bills. And if you have children, your children should go to school in the new state if you want asylum case to be transferred there. Oceanic said, my name is Ignatius Lobo, and you're always an inspiration to me. Of course. Thank you so much. Thank you for giving me your real name. Omar says, I have filed VAWA, received the prima facie approval. My attorney made a mistake. Okay, yes, we did this already. Sue says from California. Hello, sweetheart. Hello, Sue. My friend Joseph here has a question. Please, I have a friend who made a mistake from her date in the paperwork. She wrote 2021 instead of 2022 in her marriage certificate. When she got married, her divorce certificate was 22, but she put 2020. You can amend it even after filing. If you put in the right information, you can write to them. You can write them a letter saying, Dear USCIS, I ask you to amend my papers. I noticed a mistake, and then fix the mistake and attach the right paperwork. I have somebody, Cheyenne Musk, watching me from Iran. Very handsome young man. All right. Asylum case. Hard to say how much because we don't have like a set price. It depends if you're in court, if you need to file first with USCIS, How hard is it? How much work it is? It depends where you're from. Also, like some countries are a little easier than others. Um, Maria wants to know if this Child Status Protection Act, where's the question, Maria? The Child Status Protection Act would apply to both U.S. citizens and green card holder petitions for family unification. Yes, it does. Jesus is from Portland, Oregon. I haven't been to Oregon yet either. Hello and welcome. Thank you, says, I guess I'm not going to call you Ocean. I'm going to say Ignatius Lobo. Mr. Lobo, thank you. Emmanuel Abu says, hello, madam. I filed for financial hardship work permit since June last year. I haven't received my receipt notice yet. That's really weird. The lawyer that helped me file my paperwork is located in California. I'm in Florida. So if you don't have your receipt notice, how do we know your lawyer, first of all, is a lawyer? Sometimes they lie and they're not actual lawyers. And how do we know they actually filed it? And also the third option is how do we know it didn't get lost? If they mailed it, it sometimes gets lost. You got to follow up and call USCIS. If you have an alien number, they can try to track it down for you. All right, Joseph, about the two houses, it doesn't matter for mistakes in the forms. If there was a mistake in good faith, you can ask them to correct it. All right. Thank you from Bolivar. Okay. All right. Manchester, 359 says I have a work permit based on VAWA case, and my spouse blackmailed me when he figured it out. So I left the state with my work permit only after overstay. Please. What's the question? Truly World says, should we find our own lawyer? Does the court give us a free lawyer? The court does not give a free immigration lawyer. You have to find your own lawyer. There are free, you don't have to pay, free organizations out there that help immigrants, but the wait is super long and it's hard to qualify. Okay. But again, you can find your own private lawyer or you can hire somebody from a free organization. They don't charge or they charge very little. And you can Google pro bono organizations in your area. I recommend getting a private lawyer if you can. It makes a huge difference. And no, you don't get a free lawyer from immigration court. Meet 90 Singh wants to know how can I file for asylum if I'm from India? So generally, to file for asylum, you have to show that you're in a protected group. In other words, you have a nationality or religion or political opinion or a social group like LGBTQ that's being abused in your home country, persecuted. And you were abused because of that you suffered or will suffer in the future if you return to your home country, India. So India has a lot of issues. Religious persecution, yes. Political persecution, yes. Corruption, that's social group. So many issues we see from India, people being forced into arranged marriages, the classes, the castes, families attacking each other, a lot we see. So there are many options, but you gotta, it has to be what's right for you, what you experienced in India. That's how you file for asylum. It has to be the truth. It has to be what you went through. Giancarlo too says, hello, you're such an incredible lawyer. Thank you so much. I wish I saw you before hiring my current lawyer. Keep up the good work. I thank you, and I thank you for your kind words. Vidya Moon says, is it too late to try to expedite my VAWA and get an attorney? It's been 30 months since I filed. Vidya, it's too late, and we'll see what happens with your case. You have some options. USCIS, when I say they, I mean USCIS, they might decide to send you something called request for evidence. If you get that, I'll be happy to take your case, or our team will take your case. We do so many VAWAs. Today, before I did this live, I was working on a questionnaire, like updating the questions for the VAWA case that we work on. So these are the questions. I'm about to have a new procedure in our office where I'm going to have one dedicated paralegal call the client and get their entire story and then give that to the paralegal working on their case, so that they can do this declaration for the cases. So VAWAs is our bread and butter, like asylum, like waivers, appeals, things like that. So, if you need a lawyer when you get a request for evidence, let us know. We're here for you. Okay, somebody wants to know how can I get back my work permit if I overstayed my visa. You have to file for something else. There's no way to just get it back. All right. Maria says, thank you, Marina. You're wonderful. Keep doing what you do on YouTube. Thank you so much. Michael on YouTube says, we have been in a relationship for just 1 month and we are very much in love. Is it okay to marry and apply for a green card? I would wait maybe another 1 or 2 months, but then you can marry and file. I mean, 1 month is a little short, to be honest, and it will trigger a fraud alert. But look, sometimes people know. I would give another month or two though. Vibhav Gaba says, good morning, attorney. How long does it take to get receipts for VAWA once the immigration receives the case? Between 1 month to like 2.5 months sometimes. It takes a little longer once in a while. Shayan Mask from Iran wants to know how many days after entering the US can I apply for asylum? What's the best situation? How many months later will the court give us time? Where should we live during this time? Does it give us money? Asylum does not give you any money. You have to support yourself when you come here. When you come here, I usually recommend, if you come with a visa, to wait for like 4 or 5 months and then file for asylum. If you come through the border, you can apply right away for asylum. You will not get any money just because you filed for asylum, and it might take a couple of years for you to get to court. So get ready when you come here to have a little bit money to support yourself in the early days that you're here. Once you file for asylum, after 150 days, you file for a work authorization. Once you get the work authorization, you can get jobs here and work legally. Okay, I think for today, this is all I planned. We've been here for 30 minutes, a little more now. Thank you guys for watching so much. Chitranjan from India says good night. CP Singh from India. This is Chitranjan 8504, Manchester 359. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate your time and your questions and you to letting me know where you're watching me from. My friends in Texas, California, Arizona, Iran, New Jersey, Texas. I mentioned Texas already. Florida. I've seen Oregon today. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next week. Bye bye.